depression. Acceptance of the possibility. It's just too deep, so cold. Always back again, but never quite down to the bottom of this wandering hole.
Let's begin. I'm your host, Kyle Johnston. You can find my work on Twitter at KJ_theblock. You can find my work on my blog site, kylejohnstontheblog.wordpress.com. And where do I begin today? What a day. Obviously, I'm fucking pissed right off. Fucking Austria. Nice performance, Austria. Fucking embarrassing. I was uttering... I thought Portugal was bad. That performance, man. And I'll get to Portugal in a second. But Austria, that was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. When I get to that, I'm going to rant here a little bit about the Euros. I don't want to waste too much time. I'll start with the Irish. Good on Ireland. You know, I'll start with some positivity before I get to the negativity. Because I was at the Euros 4 years ago. I was in Poznan. I was partying with the Irish. I actually went to the Ireland-Italy match. And the Irish at that time had lost 2. They hadn't scored at all. And all they won was a goal. They were just cheering for a fucking goal. And then about three quarters away through the match, like, Ireland obviously wasn't pulling through. And we're pulling for Croatia to knock off Spain and knock out Italy. So, because there's only 16 teams at the time, right? So for Ireland to get to that tournament with only 16 teams, pretty damn good. You know, like, fucking good on the Irish, man. Fucking good on them. Scotland could probably learn a thing or two from how Ireland runs their football program. They've had some good fucking draws, too, in qualification. But they've still done it. They did it with 16 teams. But, yeah, 3 quarters way through the match, we fucking turned on all the Italian fans, calling them a bunch of match fixers and fucking chanting at them. But Croatia couldn't pull through that match, and Italy got through. The rest is history. Italy went to the finals, got knocked off by Germany. They knocked off Spain in the semifinals. Man, there you go. But anyways, good on the Irish. Fucking had to sit there, and a whole lot of memories started flashing back. You know, sitting in the hostels, listening to the Irish tell their folk tales and chants and hymns, singing songs about, you know, slavery and stuff like that from the British Empire, you know, back in the day in Ireland. Hard times, the Great Depression era. A lot of history, you know, a lot of tradition. I remember they were sitting there and they were singing, and they turned to me and they're like, "Hey, Canadian, sing us a song, you know, about some Canadian heritage." And I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, so I was going through it. I'm like, all right, so we got Stompin' Tom. I could either sing some Stompin' Tom or we sing the national anthems. That's basically what I told them. I'm like, you guys ever heard of a guy named Stompin' Tom? You know, then I eventually threw out the hit, but I was like, yeah, you know, Spuds from the Great Red Mud, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And, obviously they didn't know who Stompin' Tom was. So, I sang a fucking couple verses of a couple Stompin' Tom songs. I'm no Stompin' Tom expert. So I was pulling out, you know, the old cliches, the old originals, good old hockey game. The Sudbury Night song. Can't really, it took me a little while. It took me about 10 minutes to think about it. I told them. I was like, either that or we sing the Canadian National Anthem. So I sang them Canadian National Anthem as well. It's pretty hilarious. They, like, forced me to, basically. They're handing me drinks and stuff like that. So, like, I couldn't say no, right? The quicker I got it over with, the quicker they got back with the entertainment. Great entertainment the Irish were. So a bunch of memories were flashing back. Even on I've told the fucking trip on the way to the fucking stadium, fucking rocking the tram, just picking people up. Dancing with the cops out in the square. Dancing on statues. Crowd surfing the girls up to the front to dance. It was a fucking good time, man. One of the best times of my life. So, it was, as an England supporter, it was a special moment. I got a lot of good memories with the Irish. This is actually from a bunch of Irish fans. Unbelievable. 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 You know, the fucking party is going to be crazy tonight. I thought the parties were fucking crazy in Poland. They didn't advance to the fucking knockout rounds. Now, the knockout rounds in 16 teams is going straight to the quarters. You know, like, there wasn't a round of 16. But, hey, nonetheless, they fucking advanced, man. There's going to be a fucking party in France. So good on the fucking Irish. It's a little bit of my footage. That's what I had to do, man. I was watching the game. I had to go back and look at some old photos, some old videos. Pretty funny. I was watching a podcast that I like to watch, Sports Rage, and one of the guys in the chat was saying no one in North America likes soccer, but yet 70,000 people were sitting there watching USA Argentina. Look at it, you know, like some people over here in North America just don't understand what it means. The history to be in a tournament like this, to represent your nation. On the field and off the field. Like, I know my buddy, guy I met down there on my travels, Mark Duffy. I know he's down there in France right now with his minivan. A bunch of the boys in green. Come on, you boys in green. So I know he's down there right in the thick of it. So I wish him the best of travels. I wish him a fucking excellent night of partying. And we'll move on a little bit here. We'll end it off with Belgium and Sweden. We might as well round up the group. So Ireland does advance. They advance to play France. That's a juicy match, man. That's a juicy match. The Irish won't be afraid of the French. The Irish, you know, they got their supporters. They'll be there in full voice. Full voice. They're familiar with a lot of their players. It's not going to be an easy game for France. Not going to be a very easy game. I think... And then we also got to think about the history in this game. The Thierry Henry handball. In the 2010 World Cup. I do believe it was. Was it 2010 World Cup? Check that out. Yeah, 2010. 2010 World Cup qualifications. I remember watching that game, man. Ireland fucking was a handful for them. Now, obviously, France is a much different team now. Under Didier Deschamps, Paul Pogba, Griezmann, and the rest of the crew, Payet. So it's going to be a handful for them, but they're familiar with them. A lot of these players have seen Payet and that in the Premier League. So they're not going to be scared, the Irish. They're not going to be scared. So that's a juicy matchup. There's a lot of juicy matchups in the round of 16, man. You know, I was wondering what 24 teams would do to this tournament because 16 nations made this one of the best tournaments in the world. One of the hardest tournaments in the world to win. One of the hardest tournaments in the world to get into. But 24 hasn't damaged it too much. It's watered it down a little bit, you know, with the style of play. But we're starting to see some of the bigger matchups pull through. Croatia and Spain. Portugal and Hungary was a fucking doozy. Even though fucking Portugal should be fucking pretty embarrassed with the way they fucking defended. He came out with the first 20 minutes of that match. Fuck, man. Like, how the hell do you concede? You're Portugal. All you gotta do is fucking shut them down for like the first fucking half hour of the game and just let your talent fucking pull through. But you're Portugal. You guys in England, man, like, fuck, you just make me scratch my head. And I've had an awful couple days of fucking gambling on this shit. Awful couple days of wagering. Handicapping this tournament in the last 2 days. It was on quite a little bit of a roll. We're treading water. We're doing just fine. But the last 2 days have been awful. It's a perfect time to have a couple days off and regroup. Been doing okay in the Copa. Copa's been pretty consistent the whole way through. We're going to hopefully, I'm going to sit down and break down these round of 16 games. But I'm going to try to get to some NHL talk for you. But I'm going to finish up with that early games. Portugal-Hungary. Fuck. If Cristiano Ronaldo only had a couple players, man, that's what you get for having Ricardo Carvalho as one of your defenders on your fucking roster. Guy's a fucking dinosaur out there. It's always been your fucking problem, Portugal. You can't defend. And you always play down to your opponents. Fuck, they had to score on you to wake you the fuck up. Now, yeah, obviously your front three was fucking your typical front three. It'd also help if you guys fucking found a striker. Because playing Nani down the middle is not going to fucking cut it when you need a goal in the fucking late stages of the game. Quaresma. Yeah, Quaresma, he's fucking matured a little bit. He still likes to do his little flicks and tricks. Some flair, but he has matured. He is a fucking threat down the wing. But that's when you need to have that fucking striker in the fucking middle of the box. Fuck, get on the end of some of these flicks and tricks and give him something to play with. Because Nani's just not fucking, not capable of doing that. Even though he did score a goal in the match. Renato Sanchez, got to see a little bit of him. Meh, a little bit impressed, not much. Looks like an athlete, though. See what Bayern can do with that guy. Good on Hungary, though. Fucking gotta love the keeper, though, with his fucking track pants out there. Fucking gotta love it. It's just so 1980s, man. It's just the fucking best thing I've ever fucking seen. But he's getting the job done. Hungary got the job done. In the last 5 minutes of the match, they basically quit and said, or the last 10 minutes of the match, basically, said, all right. That's enough. But Portugal thought they were getting second place and playing England. It kind of works out all right for them to play Croatia now. Portugal. That's a fucking good match. That's going to be a good game. And I think that's where Portugal fucking, they haven't played well. It's going to catch up to them against the Croatians. If they get Modric back. It's arguably one of the best midfields in the tournament. If Mandzukic, like I said, would shut his mouth, he could put goals in the back of the net. They've proven that they can create chances. Croatia. So, and the way if Portugal defends like that, man, fucking Croatia's gonna fucking eat them alive because they're gonna own the fucking middle of the pitch. It's gonna be tough for them to fucking distribute the ball to Ronaldo. In the way Ronaldo's going to want it. He's going to have to drop deep. He's going to have to, get the ball probably before or around the halfway line. And then they can, get a couple defenders on him. Force him off the ball. Force long balls to him where they can defend it in the air before it gets down to his feet. It's going to be a problem for Portugal. Because they don't have the midfielders to be able to own that middle of the pitch. William Carvalho is an awful defender. You got a lot of Premier League teams with eyes about this guy, bringing him as a holding midfielder. And I'm like, ooh, yee. Hopefully there's no United, talks about this guy anymore. Maybe 2 years ago we were linked with this kid, but he's got a long way to go. But I had Portugal and the under, so the under got fucked over pretty early. That was out the door. At least I didn't have to sweat that out. But Portugal, come on, man. That was embarrassing, man. What the fuck is it in the Austria game with center backs taking fuck penalty kicks? Where the hell's Dragovic or whatever his fucking name taking a penalty kick? When you got all that talent up front. Why isn't David Alaba fucking stepping up, grabbing the ball and saying, no. Enough with this fucking games. I'm taking it. Fucking, Marcel Kohler, yeah. Marcel Kohler. You're fired, buddy. You're gone. You're gone. That was an awful display by the Austrians. It was an awful display tactically. It was an awful display, athletically on the field. There was fucking very little emotion brought by the Austrians at a time of need. Marcel Kohler, you did an awful job. You're gone. It'll be the last match that you coach for Austria for a long time. You might want to tell your agent to start looking at a couple domestic leagues. See what's out there still. Alright. Even the Italians, you had your chances. You had your chances. But, give it to the Irish, man. They fucking ran all over that pitch, man. They deserved it. They deserved it. It wasn't like the fucking Italians shoulda, coulda had it. They didn't have a fucking B squad out there. But still. Irish fucking, they deserved it, man. Fucking, there were just some amazing fucking scenes out there, man. The one of the little fucking kid on his fucking dad's shoulders, man. Or his uncle's shoulders, whoever it was. He's probably like fucking 6 years old, 5 years old, man. Maybe 4. About 4 or 5. He's got his little fucking Ireland shirt on. And he's doing the fucking chants and clapping away. Fucking what a moment for him, man. Like the reporter said, the reporter was from Ireland when he was fucking interviewing Robbie Brady. Robbie Brady would look like he was going to fucking break down in tears. His fucking family was fucking crying. Along with among lots of others in the stands. It was pretty crazy. You see guys fucking bawling. You see guys right beside him in fucking sheer joy. Seeing kids fucking joining along. Seeing kids fucking without their shirts on in the front row. Fucking amazing scenes in that fucking stadium. The streets of fucking France right now. Just gonna be fucking crazy. I know the Irish should be getting a lot of love. Trying to see real quick where this game was held. I should have known this, but it's just not coming to me right now. It's not what I wanted. Well, anyways. Lille. The city of Lille will be a fucking... Oh, man, only to be there. Only to be there, man. So congrats to the Irish. And hold on, Lille, because you're in for a fucking long fucking night. You better get the food fucking ready to go and the fucking booze fucking stocked up, man. If you're fucking running a little low on some fucking Guinness and shit, you better get that shit fucking stocked right the fuck up. So, have fun, Lil. I wish I was there. Just gonna close a couple things down and move on to some NHL. So we got the NHL draft Friday night. Exciting times. Looking forward to it. The Montreal Canadiens, I'm very interested in what we're going to do. We're obviously going to use the pick. I don't think we're going to move it at all. I'm here in the GTA around Leafland. Hasn't been quite the fucking buzz that I expected around this draft. You know what I mean? You know, I'm in and around the streets of Toronto and doing stuff downtown, around the GTA, Mississauga, Oakville area. And, you know, people are getting excited, but it's not what I expected it to be. You know what I mean? Like, even with, I've been watching some of the broadcasts and some of these stations, some of the pundits are really fucking pushing it. You know what I mean? Really pushing fucking Austin Matthews to be this next fucking crazy guy talking about he's the next Jonathan Taves and he will win a cup in fucking Toronto. Fucking one of the fucking guys on TV. I'm just like, yeah. It's a little early. It's a little early to be saying he's a guy like Jonathan Taves. Or a guy like Anze Kopitar. You gotta wait and see. Does the guy have skill? Yeah. What kind of leadership qualities does he have? I don't know. But we'll take a look at a couple mock drafts. I got a CBS one up. And I got a TSN one up. CBS by Chris Peters. TSN is by... what's his name there? Craig Button. So I was just curious to see how close they are. So obviously Austin Matthews is your consensus first overall pick to the Leafs. How can the Leafs not take a big centerman first overall? It will improve their club. You know, Craig Button's like, this is going to push them into they're going to be in playoff contention next year. Frederik Andersen, Austin Matthews, playoff contention. Yeah. They're not going to make the playoffs next year. And to think about it, with this league and this format and the structure with the wild cards is if you just improve by 10 or 12 points, the Leafs improve by 10 or 12 points, they're in, like, you know, somewhat of content, you know what I mean? Like, just the way it is. They're not going to make it. You got probably, like, 4 teams ahead of them, between them and a playoff spot, but, like, you're mathematically fucking somewhat in it. It's the way the fucking league's set up, with their fucking crazy divisions. But anyways. It's going to improve. Still got to find some players to play with them. They've still got a lot of growing pains to go through. But the Leafs, you know, they've done a lot of right things. Do I think Frederik Andersen is their fucking answer in net? No. It makes me fucking really happy as a Montreal Canadiens fan to see Frederik Andersen as their so-called solution in the net. It's another one of their experiments in the net. Love it. Now, the Leafs will probably draft a goaltender in this draft. Maybe it was their second round pick. But obviously, he's a ways away. 2 years away from being 2 years away. As they said with Bruno Caboclo. Who Raptors fans should be quite intrigued with Bruno Caboclo. Speaking to him, the year coming up. He might make an impact. Either on the trade market or on the court. But anyways, we're talking hockey. Winnipeg Jets are sitting pretty there with Patrick Laine. Like Teemu Selanne, Patrick Laine, like, history tends to repeat itself, man. And it doesn't get fucking itself wrong too often. In certain times like this. This is, I think he's going to be a good fit in Winnipeg. You know, there's not a lot to do there for Winnipeg, because Winnipeg sucks. Like, there's just nothing to do in Winnipeg. So he's going to be focused on playing hockey. And he's going to score a lot of goals in the NHL, I think, Patrick Laine. I think he's a Patrick Kane-type player. He's got a hell of a shot on him. He's a big body too. 6'4", 209-pound frame. Holy fuck, man. These kids are getting big and fast. Like, he's fucking fast and he's big. How can Winnipeg's sitting in the best position, right? So I think Patrick Laine is definitely going to be a solid fit there in Winnipeg. Jesse Puljujarvi, not as big on him. I think he's got a solid NHL career ahead of him. I think he's going to play, 10 or 12 seasons. But I think he's going to be more of your typical Finn, your Saku Koivu type player. I think a good example is Mikko Koivu. Stuff like that. I don't think he's as big as Mikko Koivu, obviously, but I think he's going to be that type player. Your 50, 55 point guy in the NHL. Probably rack up more of a playmaker than a goal scorer. Because they're saying the Blue Jackets have the 3rd pick right now. They're saying they're entertaining trading it. Maybe they're onto something. They got that Finnish general manager. I'll go. I should be able to find this guy's fucking name rather quick. I can kind of say it, but I don't want to say it wrong. Kekalainen. Jarmo Kekalainen. Maybe Jarmo Kekalainen knows something that we don't. And he's not too keen on it. Now, with them getting Seth Jones in the Ryan Johansson trade, I don't see why they wouldn't want a forward in this draft. But maybe they're saying one European too many. They haven't had the best of lucks with these top draft picks, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I guess Ryan Murray is a big, can't say he's a bust, but he's definitely not worthy of being, what was he, a 1 or 2 overall. But anyways, it'd be interesting if they do move it, what they decide to do, or who they have their eyes on. But I'm not the biggest Puljujarvi fan. I think he's a top 5 or top 6 pick for sure. But there's a couple other guys I like better. Speaking of guys I like better, Matthew Tkachuk. Technically he's supposed to go number 4 to the Oilers. This is the CBS. So I'll do top 5 CBS, top 5 TSN, see if there's any crazy differences and stuff. Really, it only matters like top 10. Then anything kind of happens. So CBS. The Oilers taking Matthew Tkachuk, 4th overall. It's another pick that's got a lot of trade, rumors and stuff floating around it. Very real possibilities. I don't see why they wouldn't try to somehow get a defenseman out of this pick. I don't really know kind of what's out there. Pietrangelo, meh. Shattenkirk, yeah, they're worthy. They're worthy. But I'm sure a lot of teams are asking the Oilers to take back some cash, and they probably don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do it either. But, defense are hard to come by. A lot of times defensemen don't usually get locked up into crazy bad deals. A lot of times it's worth it in the long run. It'd be stupid if the Oilers tried to put the 4th pick and, say, Nugent Hopkins in the same deal. Because I just don't think you could get the value back for it. I think you're better off to do it in separate deals. But, hey, I'm no general manager in the NHL, so maybe I'm wrong. But Matthew Tkachuk is a guy I like. I like this dad. I like this kid. London Knights. He's coming out of that fucking combine. Out of that system. That's just producing NHLers at an all-time rate. The Hunters. He's an interesting pick. I can see a lot of teams, would love to move up to get him. Buffalo Sabres would be one. Buffalo Sabres would be very interesting to see what they could do with the Edmonton Oilers. But I don't think they have the defense that the Oilers want. The Canucks. What are they going to offer the Oilers on defense? Flames are interesting, but that's an in-province trade. That shit just don't happen. Arizona Coyotes would be an interesting matchup. You know, I guess you're going to include one of these picks too, so you don't have to include your best defenseman. So I think it's going to be a very busy trade board. Vancouver Canucks are picking number 5. They got Pierre-Luc Dubois. I don't like him at all. Not too big on him. Not a big fan. Coming out of the queue, Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. You know, he's the top Canadian supposedly to go in this draft, so they're obviously going to say some nice things about him. CBS is saying he's got some power forward elements. He's one of the better two-way forwards. Size, strength, snarl. So, doesn't quite have the offensive output, in my opinion, to be a true top 5 forward. Was TSN got going top 5. So Matthews, Laine, Puljujarvi, exact same. Logan Brown, Windsor Spitfires. This is a guy I like, man. He's a big fucking centerman. Can skate too. He's got a lot of skill. He's American. But he played for the Windsor Spitfires. Pretty good program in the OHL. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Logan Brown fall a few spots to the Montreal Canadiens at number 9. I don't think it's going to happen. But he's like Arizona, they got some center. But it's a centerman. It's hard to pass up centerman. If you're anybody, it's hard to pass up centerman. I'd take Logan Brown over Pierre-Luc Dubois if I'm the Vancouver Canucks. To me, that fits my needs more as a Vancouver Canuck fan than a power forward winger. You know, let's take our shot on the centerman. You know, it's just as big, but he's got way better offensive skills. You know, if we can't get our hands on Matthew Tkachuk. See, that's what I'm thinking like if I'm the Vancouver Canucks. Hopefully, maybe they are too. Hopefully not. Hopefully he falls. Mikhail Sergachev. I don't know what the Arizona Coyotes are going to do with Tibbet now kind of in control. They got a new owner. They're going to want to make a splash. Is taking a defenseman, a Russian defenseman, at that from Windsor, making a splash? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the Arizona Coyotes can be a very intriguing player Friday at the draft. I don't know much about Sergachev. But according to CBS, are saying Coyotes' biggest organizational need is defense. He's got tremendous two-way skills. He skates extremely well. He could possibly be a terror at the point, offensively, supposedly. So he's one of your typical Russian defensemen. Maybe a Sergei Gonchar type. I don't know too much about him. He was named OHL's Defenseman of the Year, so he's got some hardware on the shelf, to back it up. They got the Buffalo Sabres taking a defenseman, Olli Juolevi. I remember watching this kid in the World Juniors. He's got some offensive skill. If you want to talk about some offensive skill, man, this kid can move the puck. He's fucking smart, man. He's got great vision at the point. He's going to be one of your power play specialists out there. I think Buffalo Sabres fans should be quite comfortable if they do get their hands on this kid. Take him over the Russian defenseman any day. 42 points in 57 games with London. And like I said, he helped Finland win the gold medal at the World Juniors, so it's not too bad of a year for this kid, man. Memorial Cup, World Juniors, going to go top 10 possibly if he slips. I think Buffalo is a great spot for this kid. Great spot. And number 9, CBS has got the Montreal Canadiens selecting Alexander Nylander from the Mississauga Steelheads. And this would be an interesting pick because, well, his brother plays for the Leafs. So right off the hop, you know the fucking media would just be fucking drooling all over this. Drooling all over it. You know, obviously the Leafs have no shot at him. But if the media could have this kid go anywhere, Montreal's a perfect spot for him. Montreal's a good spot for him to grow up. You know, his family's, 4 hours away. His dad was his assistant coach. His dad's living down here. Michael's living down here in Mississauga, Toronto. His brother William's living in Toronto. He's 4 hours away in Montreal. It's not too bad of a spot for him. He grew up in America. You know, he's familiar with the history of the NHL. 75 points, 57 games for Mississauga. He's got a lot of flair, I can tell you that. I did the color commentary for the Steelheads, and the first goal I analyzed was Nylander picked the puck up, started going behind the net with some speed, stopped on a dime. Actually, no, he didn't. Sorry, he picked the puck up in the corner. I should know this because I called it. You can go watch it. Actually, I've watched it on YouTube a couple times. Picked the puck up, went behind the net with some speed. It looked like he was going to go around for a wraparound or kind of go out on the other side to see if there's anybody open in the slot or if the point was open. But as he went behind the net, he did the old behind the back pass to I wish I remembered the kid's name, man. It'll come to me. The kid fucking bust into the top of the crease. He just slid it in as the goalie thought he was going around in the net. A beautiful goal. It was a beautiful goal. It showed his skills, showed his creativity, showed his vision. You know, sometimes hockey players, they don't even know the players are there. They just know that's where players should be going. You know, that kid was busting to the top of the crease. And he just slid it in. That's all he had to do, slide it in. So that was a beautiful goal. It'll be very interesting the Habs get their hands on this kid. We have some alright prospects. You know, our cupboard's getting a little thin because we've had to use them. We've had to give some kids the chance. Our contracts have run out. The Jared Tenorti situation still fucking pisses me off. That was a joke. But Sherbeck will be interesting. McCarron. Who's the defenseman that we got? Starts with a J or whatever. It'll come to me. But some of the drafts I've seen had us linked with Jacob Chychrun, and it's a possibility. But I'd rather take Nylander over Chychrun. I'd rather take the offensive capabilities. It's what the NHL's about. It's what it's turning into. It's hard to score goals. It's hard to score goals in the NHL, man. But Jacob Chychrun's going number 10 overall to Colorado Avalanche, according to CBS. It's a perfect pick for the Colorado Avalanche. They better be hoping that this kid is still around at number 10. Because that's a perfect place for Jacob Chychrun. It's a perfect organization for him to grow up in. And now they need him. They need defense, Colorado. They got a lot of offensive prospects that have made that transition to the NHL. But they're very thin on the back end. Before I end this, we'll just go see what the TSN's got from 6 to 10. Oli Yolovi going to Calgary. It's a little different than Logan Brown. I think Logan Brown's a better fit for the Calgary Flames. I think he's a better player than Oli Yolovi. It's Yulovi. Yolevi. That's what it is. Yolevi. They got Arizona taking Alexander Nylander at number 7 this TSN. Meh. It makes sense in my eyes because I like skill and talent. But like we said, Arizona needs defense. They got a lot of offensive prospects in the cupboard. They need some defensive prospects. They got a couple defensemen on the roster that are going to need to get paid. But they're very thin. They're very thin on the blue end. On the back end, sorry. So, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. They got the Russian defenseman Sergachev going to Buffalo. Which, so they obviously both agree that Buffalo wants a defenseman. So Buffalo's going to take the best defenseman available. So we'll see what defenseman kind of falls to number 8. And if Buffalo does want the best defenseman available, it makes no sense for them to move up because most of the teams at the top of the fucking draft are looking for forwards. They're in competition with Arizona, the team in front of them, in my opinion. They got Logan Brown going to fucking Montreal this TSN. Now I like that. So we get Logan Brown, we get Alexander Nylander who does the Habs. I'm pretty satisfied. That's kind of worth the pain and the suffering that we went through 3/4 of the season last year. Let's say half. It took about a quarter of the season to really realize what the hell was going on. Because it was tough to watch Montreal Canadian games last year, man. It was it wasn't the best hockey. Wasn't the best hockey. And they got Colorado taking a centerman. Colorado's the other team that needs a defenseman. The last thing they need is another offensive prospect. Tyson Yost. Yeah, they got Jacob Chychrun falling way out of the top 10 to number 12. I guess not way out. It's only a couple picks, but still. The guy that was projected to be in the top 10 to go outside of top 10, They got him going to Ottawa at number 12. Ottawa wouldn't mind that. But I think we're going to see a lot of wheeling. We're going to see a lot of dealing. All the general managers in the NHL are down in Vegas for the NHL awards. The general managers meeting. Or the league meeting with Gary Bettman. They're going to announce the Las Vegas team. Which, what can you say? Quebec backed down. Can't bitch at the NHL for this one, man. Quebec backed down. They didn't have the cash. And, how are you going to run an NHL team if it's all affected by the loonie? If it's all affected by the dollar, why do it? It's just not fair to anybody. But, sometimes people ask, is it better to have a team that sucks or to not have a team at all? No sports picks for you tonight. I'll tweet a couple out. Obviously, like I said, I need to regroup from this awful European championship run I've had the last 2 days. It's fucking pretty brutal. We'll catch the Belgium. We'll take that. But even that was a sweat job. Even that was a... Jeez, man. That was not set in stone, put it that way. The Belgians created chance after chance, but the Belgians also had fucking... they didn't play very good defensively to the Belgians. But anyways... Well, I'll be waiting the NBA drafts tomorrow. NHL drafts Friday. Remember, you can find my work on Twitter at KJ_TheBlock. You can find it on my blog site, KyleJohnsonTheBlock.wordpress.com. Cheers.
Here upon this rotten ledge, I